Hello, and thank you for listening to Texas History for Kids. I'm your host, Michelle Gallegos, an educator, writer, history nerd, and novice investigator. Each week on the show, we will learn about interesting parts of Texas history, from battles and historical figures to the odd and enchanted. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Texas History for Kids. We are on episode number 41, entitled Crazy Water of Mineral Wells, Texas. So today we're venturing into the strange and mysterious town of Mineral Wells, a place where the water, they say, holds more than just minerals. It holds secrets. Located about 50 miles west of Fort Worth, Mineral Wells might seem like just another Texas town, but for those who know its history, it's anything but ordinary. This town is very small, with a population that barely hits the 15,000 mark. Once attracted visitors from all over the country, and not just for its healing waters. Mineral Wells was founded by James Alvin Lynch, a cattleman who moved his family to the area in 1877, hoping to find relief from his wife's rheumatism, a very painful disease that affects the joints, the muscles, and your tissues, as well as he was seeking comfort from his own chronic stomach pains. So their plan was to move further west. However, they had some issues along the way. Their wagon broke down, and shortly after that, their oxen got struck by lightning. So really, they had no choice but to stay in Mineral Wells. So after a few years, the Lynches drilled a water well on their property. And to their surprise, the water seemed to have curative properties. Almost overnight, his wife's ailment seemed to vanish, as if the water itself held some sort of miraculous power. And soon, news spread like wildfire. Everyone wanted a taste of what became known as crazy water. It was school children who first began calling it the Crazy Well, because an old woman who seemed a bit crazy was spotted drinking from that well every day until she seemed to improve. Then she disappeared and was forgotten in history. Water that seemed to cure. Is it really all that crazy? Crazy water. But this water was more than just a cure-all. For some, it became an obsession. The mineral-rich liquid, with its earthy taste and fainty sulfuric scent, was said to do everything from curing arthritis to calming nerves. Some people believed it could even ward off the dark energies that plagued their lives. Hello, all you history buffs out there. I'm Michelle Gallegos, a former educator turned podcaster. Are you passionate about learning stories of Texas history that you don't exactly get to learn in school? Sure, you've heard about native tribes, a few famous battles, and historical figures like Stephen F. Austin. All topics that every Texas student should learn about. But what if I could offer you even more? Imagine not only listening to this podcast, but also having access to reading materials that accompany each episode, making it easier to dive into the topics that interest you most. I think you'll love what I have to offer. Alongside each podcast episode, I've created detailed digital reading resources and comprehension activities designed to deepen your understanding and enhance your knowledge. These materials are perfect for students who are eager to explore topics further, and for teachers looking for ready-to-use activities in the classroom for resources. You'll find true, factual stories about Texas history, complete with suggested activity questions that bring classroom discussions to life. Dive deeper into our episodes by visiting michelleauthor.com and get access to engaging material, fun activities, and captivating historical stories. Let's make education enjoyable and impactful together. Soon, the town began developing the mineral spring waters into well-known spas, such as Pavilion Springs. Bathhouses and drinking pavilions became popular, and even bottled water from mineral wells was eventually distributed throughout the country. But why? What was it about this water that sparked such intense devotion and belief? Some say it was simply the minerals: calcium, magnesium, lithium, and not to mention the electrolytes that did the trick. Others, though, aren't so sure. You see, there's another side to mineral wells. Some believe it's a side that's far more mysterious, and some would even say more sinister. It's said that the water doesn't just heal, it also reveals. People who drank it began experiencing strange dreams, vivid and unsettling. These weren't just your run-of-the-mill nightmares. These dreams felt real, almost as if they were being transported to another time or another place. Local lore tells of a man who drank the water daily and started seeing visions of the past. He claimed to have seen the construction of the Baker Hotel before it was even built, with every detail matching the final structure. Others reported seeing events from their own lives, but twisted, like looking into a mirror that reflects not just your image, but your deepest, darkest fears. And then there were the disappearances. Tales of people who came to mineral wells looking for health, but never returned home. Locals whispered that these lost souls ventured too deep into the secrets of the water, that they found something else. Or were they found by something? The Baker Hotel, which stands as a towering relic of the town's golden era, is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. It's no coincidence that the hotel's rise coincided with the height of the mineral water craze. Some believe the hotel's very foundations are soaked in the water's energy, its walls echoing with the whispers of those who never left. But what is it about the water that makes it so special? Is it just the minerals or something more? Some speculate that the water flows over an ancient sacred ground, which holds otherworldly properties. Others think it's a product of a natural but rare geological phenomenon, perhaps even a magnetic anomaly or an influence of underground rivers, which each carries its own mysterious cargo. What we do know is the water of mineral wells has captivated people for over a century, inspiring both hope and a little bit of fear. It's a place where science and superstition intermingle together, where the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary blurs. The popularity of mineral wells began to decline after World War II. This is because advancements in medicine and antibiotics began to reduce the demand for natural healing springs. Many of the town's bathhouses and hotels closed, and the town's population decreased during that time. The Baker Hotel was once the crown jewel of the town, closed in 1972. It has become a symbol of the town's former glory, with various attempts over the years to restore and reopen it. In recent years, there have been renewed interest in the history of Mineral Wells, Texas. Efforts to restore the Baker Hotel have gained momentum, and the town continues to attract visitors intrigued by its history and the legend of its crazy water. Now, another famous hotel that came out of the town's newfound fame was the Crazy Water Hotel, aptly named. The Crazy Water Hotel was built in 1927 with an 8-story building that had many cool features of its time, like rooms that stayed cool even in the hot weather because now air conditioners were a thing, a big lobby, a fancy ballroom for dancing and dining room, and even a garden on top of the roof. It was made to be a special place for visitors who came to mineral wells to relax and enjoy the healing mineral water. The hotel also has a bathhouse where guests could soak in the mineral water, which people believed could help with all sorts of health issues from sore joints to calming nerves. So it became a very popular location because not only were they able to drink it, but they could soak in it. The legacy of the Crazy Water lives on with bottled water that's still being produced and sold under the Crazy Water brand. However, in the early days, bottled water was not a thing. So they sold the water by the cupful for as much as $9 per cup in today's money. So think about that the next time you complain about the price of water today. The town celebrated its heritage with events like Crazy Water Festival that attracts those curious about its history and the health benefits of the mineral water. So what do you believe? Is it all just a coincidence? A product of overactive imaginations and wishful thinking? Or is there something more lurking beyond the surface of mineral wells? Something waiting to be discovered, or perhaps something that should remain hidden. One thing is for certain, the next time you find yourself in a small town with a curious history, be careful what you drink, because sometimes the most ordinary things can hold the most extraordinary secrets. Well, that's it for today's eerie episode. Until next time, stay curious and stay cautious. As always, if you have any questions that you would like me to explore about Texas or its history, shoot me an email, michellegallegos.author@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and remember, yesterday is today's history.